Good afternoon, and welcome to the 23rd Annual Emeritus Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Induction and Awards Ceremony. My name is Steve Roth, and I am honored to be your Master of Ceremonies for this event. As a former radio and TV sportscaster, I've been involved in Nebraska high school sports for over 35 years. Just as we start high school sporting events in Nebraska, we thought it appropriate to start our event off with our national anthem. And here to sing the Star Spangled Banner is Peyton Eiler, a sophomore at Fremont High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, I would like to read the mission statement of the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. The purpose of the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation is to honor the following: athletes for outstanding high school careers, administration, coaches, officials, and community members who have made significant contributions to high school athletes, athletes who have had a significant impact on their chosen field or in our society following completion of their high school careers. I would like to now introduce Pat Salerno, President of the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Steve. As president of the Board of Directors of the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you to our 23rd Annual Induction and Awards Ceremony. This ceremony allows our foundation to highlight and to reinforce our mission, honoring the past to inspire the future, by inducting the athletes, coaches, official, and contributors selected for today's induction, and also to honor teams, individuals, and families for their past athletic achievements. When you read your printed program, you will marvel at the accomplishments of those being inducted and honored this afternoon. We appreciate both our current and former board members for their dedication to our mission. I would ask them to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. We also appreciate the attendance and support of several former inductees who are here this afternoon. I would also ask them to stand and be recognized. In addition, we recognize sports writers Stu Pospisil of the Omaha World Herald and Riley Jane Hamilton of the Lincoln Journal-Star for their coverage of high school sports across our state. I would ask them to stand and be recognized. Thank you. I want to thank our induction and awards ceremony committee, with special thanks to co-chairpersons Sue Wilcoxon and Roger Berry for the work that they have done in planning and presenting this event. Sue and Roger, please wave. And finally, I want to thank the Lincoln East High School faculty, staff, and students for both their cooperation and support of this event, and the Emeritus Corporation for providing underwriting assistance. I encourage you and your families to visit our Hall of Fame, which is located in the NSAA building just north of Haymarket Park. When you visit, you will find memorabilia associated with the sports achievements of many, many high schools located in the smallest of towns and the largest of cities across our state, from north to south and east to west. You will see interactive displays with easily accessible information, a Hall of Honor that will provide information about each one of the over 400 inductees currently in the Hall of Fame, and the plaques for each one of today's inductees. Finally, you will find on the outside walls of the exhibit hall the plaques for all of the previous Hall of Fame's honor teams, individual athletes, and families deserving special recognition. I know that I speak for all of our board members when I say that we appreciate very much the financial and community support that all Nebraskans, whether living in the state or outside the state, have provided in the first 23 years of our existence. Hopefully you will continue to provide the support that is needed to maintain our current exhibits and to develop additional exhibits. At this time, we are altering the order of events as listed in your program in order to allow one of this year's inductees, Jim Tenneper, to come to the stage to receive his plaque and be recognized as a 2016 inductee in the contributor category. Following his remarks, Jim will leave immediately for Memorial Stadium to participate in services for his brother, Milt Tenneper. As Jim joins me on stage, I will read the introductory remarks prepared by Steve Roth, our MC. Jim Tenneper has contributed to high school sports in Nebraska in about every capacity you can think of during his long and distinguished career. He has been an athlete, a teacher, a coach, an athletic director, an official, and an administrator. In two of his most visible and impactful roles, he has served as the executive director of the Nebraska School Activities Association and the COO of the National Federation of State High School Associations. His contributions have been many and well received among his peers. Here to accept his award is Jim Tenneper.
This has been a bittersweet week. We appreciate all the condolences and comments that we've had with Milt's all too early passing. And as Pat indicated, this afternoon there will be a public celebration of life in the press box at Memorial Stadium. And I do want to congratulate the other award winners today, and please don't accept it as a show of disrespect when my family and I and some of our friends get up and vacate. We certainly do appreciate this honor that's being bestowed upon us at this point. Family and friends, I want to express my appreciation to you as well. I'd be remiss if I did not thank the Hall of Fame Foundation members, the board members, Darren Boyson, who I believe had a key role in nominating me for this position, and certainly all those others who put me in a position to be considered here. I'd like to take this time to thank my wife Sharon, my daughter Kristen, and my son Kurt for their support through the years. You know, that anyone who has dedicated their life to high school athletics and performing arts knows that you need a great support team, and I've had the best. My siblings and I came from, I don't know that it does justice to say humble beginnings. We were very poor. If you think that you grew up in hard times, I'd like to challenge you to some of the things that we had to grow up in. But I think those hard times kind of provided for my siblings a means of being able to develop a work ethic that was second to none. And I happen to think that several of my siblings have been blessed with what I would call a leadership gene. Again, much of our credit has to go to our mother, who proved that it doesn't take a college degree to be a master psychologist or teacher. Had it not been for athletics, I sincerely doubt that I would have ever gotten a college education. Football was my ticket into college. I attended the same NAIA school in Kansas, Sterling College, that Milt had attended, and I was fortunate that the coaches took a chance on me. I was a 3-year starter at Sterling College, but I don't think it took the coaches that long to recognize that not all football playing brothers are equal. I was a teacher and a coach in Kansas and at McCook High School, and when I turned age 24, Harold Bennett, the superintendent of McCook, paid me a visit to find out whether I would consider being the athletic director at McCook High School. At that time, McCook High School was a Class A school, and so that kind of charted my career, if you will, as far as high school performing arts and athletics are concerned. I served a short, brief term at Scottsbluff as activities director, followed by 18 years at Cambridge as school superintendent. And I would tell you, during our time there, that was one of the premier schools as far as athletics and performing arts was concerned. In 2000, I accepted the executive director position with the Nebraska School Activities Association. And I know that there are some of those board members who were on that initial board that took a chance on a greenhorn. They're here today, and I want to express my appreciation to them. In 2010, I was fortunate to be selected to represent the National Federation of State High School Associations in Indianapolis. The National Federation can probably be described as the parent organization for the 50 high school athletic and activities associations across the country. In July of 2015, I plan to retire from the National Federation and return to Lincoln. I was fortunate that the current NSAA board would consider having me step back into the picture and assist with leading high school activities here in this state. Our NSAA board is a very solid group of people who put kids first, and I certainly appreciate them. I know that we've got a number of our board members here today, and to those board members, I say thank you very much. As you can see, along the way, there are a lot of people that certainly took a chance on me and provided me an opportunity, or a platform, if you will, to be able to practice what I preach concerning high school activities. I think back in time for things that occurred that might be qualifiers, if you will, for me to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. From a very humble perspective, I would tell you that there are many people across this state that are more deserving than I to be standing here for this award. In fact, I have siblings, I have children, I have nieces and nephews who probably have accomplished more in the athletic arena. So I accept this award as a family award. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Chuck Johnston, who's the Executive Director of the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. Chuck has a few remarks for us. Chuck?
Just very quickly, I want to thank everyone for coming, and obviously we couldn't thank Dr. Tenneper and the NSA enough for what they do. Emeritus, our sponsor, our board. The only two things I want to say is to the inductees and their families, please, if you get a chance today, we'll be open after the ceremony for an hour probably, and if you would like to come by, we're located just north of Haymarket Park or Bolin Stadium if you're a softball fan, and we'll have the Hall of Fame open, the exhibit hall. We would love for you to see it. You really do need to see what's happened there, and if you haven't seen it, even in the past 6 months, you'll be amazed. So please, if you get a chance, stop by and see us. And then to all of the athletes and coaches, official teams and contributors and families, the only thing I want to say is this summer, a guy named Bob Siegel stopped by. Some of you may remember Bob Siegel as a great athlete at Fairbury and with his coach, Charlie Moore. And Bob was going through all of the exhibit hall, and he stopped and he just looked up and he said, you know, this really is not about the honor or the honors. He said it's about the memories that you make while you're in high school. And so I'd pass that on to all of you who are here today and just say thank you for all the memories you made for yourselves and your family and for your communities. And hope you'll enjoy your day and hope you'll get a chance to stop out and see us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chuck. Well, now it's time to present awards to those people who have gathered here today. I will be assisted by Joe DeSatko, who is a member of the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation Board of Directors. The Hall of Fame's desire to extend its variety of recognition and honors into the inspiration category resulted in the introduction in 1996 of the Ronnie Gustafson Inspiration Award. This year's recipient of the Ronnie Gustafson Inspiration Award is Sophie Tate. Cheerleading has been a long-time tradition in Nebraska high school sports, and Sophie was a part of that tradition at Columbus High School, vigorously cheering on the Discoverers for 2 years, performing all the athletic moves required of the activity. What has inspired so many who have watched Sophie is her ability to perform at the highest level despite being born with just one leg. After graduating from Columbus, Sophie tried out and made the cheerleading squad at Nebraska Wesleyan. Here to accept her award is Sophie Tate.
Hi, everyone. I just want to start off by thanking everyone who helped me be nominated for this award. I really appreciate it, and I feel so blessed to be part of such a special event. I'm just going to give you a brief history of my background. I was adopted from Bulgaria when I was 19 months old, and I got my first prosthesis when I was 2 years old, and I think I was just like running around and stuff, and my parents decided to put me in a dance studio, and I think being part of a dance studio really helped me realize that I'm more than just my disability, and a big part of that was my dance instructor. She gave me confidence in almost everything I did. So, I mean, she's just a big part of the way I am today. My freshman year in high school, I decided that I wanted to join swim team, and I didn't know if I could swim. I kind of had to learn how to swim competitively, I guess. I knew how to float, but I had to learn how to swim. So it was kind of an interesting deal, and I continued to swim competitively throughout my sophomore year as well. But then I decided to take up cheerleading. I saw a video on YouTube of a cheerleader from the University of Arkansas who had one leg, and she just really inspired me. I thought she was awesome, and she was inspiring a lot of other people, so I decided, hey, why not try out for cheer? So I tried out the end of my sophomore year, and I made the squad, and I was so happy and so excited to start cheering. I think being part of a dance studio was really helpful, and I knew how to dance and stuff, so I mean that really helped out a lot. But not only did I advance athletically, but I also got the chance to lead a group of ladies, and I got to see a squad grow as a whole. So that was really exciting, and it was so much more than cheering for me. It was about helping my teammates out and inspiring people with our actions and our words. So it was such a cool experience to cheer in high school. Then my current coach, Terry Lang, he approached me at a cheer camp my senior year. It was the summer going to my senior year, and he was very forward and direct and about me coming to Wesleyan, and he wanted me to cheer on their squad, and I never thought that I would be a collegiate cheerleader, but here I am. So, I mean, it was really awesome. He has a heart of gold, and this man didn't even know me, and he was going out on a limb for me, fully knowing that I was lacking one, so thank you, Terry. And he's one of the reasons that I adore my school. I love Wesleyan so much, and I'm just so happy and thankful that I get the opportunity to go to a school that I really love. So I just want to thank my family for adopting me and giving me a life that I wouldn't have had before. Otherwise, excuse me. Thank you to all of my instructors and teachers and coaches for pushing me and taking a chance on me and believing in me. And thank you to my community for being so supportive in everything I do. And thank you to everyone who helped nominate me for this award. I appreciate it.
Well, it's the premise that strong family principles represent a solid basis for high school athletics, and that current school programs can benefit by annually honoring a strong Nebraska family. The Fisher Family Award was established in 1999. The recipient of this year's Fisher Family Award is the Jerry and Tina McLean family of Chadron. I can guarantee you, sports fans in Northwest Nebraska are certainly familiar with the McLean clan. Jerry and Tate's 6 children, Josh, Joe, Jake, John, Jamie, and Jasmine, each participated in all 3 sports all 4 years of their high school careers. The 4 boys also participated at every level of Summer League baseball. The McLean children had to look no further than their parents to see how to achieve great success in sports. Jerry and Tina were both standout athletes in college at Mayville State University in North Dakota. Several of the McLean children excelled in college sports as well. Here to serve as spokesperson for the McLean family is Jerry McLean.
What do you get when you cross a North Dakota boy with a South Dakota girl? A bunch of Nebraskans. Anyway, a special thank you to Buck Edwards for the nomination. I know Con Marshall of Chadron put a lot of work into representing our family. When we won this award, I have to admit I didn't know anything about it. We were kind of nominating without knowing that the award existed. So I read a little bit about it, and it's what an award. The Fisher family, unbelievable. I went through all the years and all the families, and we're just really privileged and happy to join that group. As I read up on the award, the premise of the Fisher Family Award is family values. And I would like to visit, or I haven't had a chance to visit with the other families, but I will bet you that when they had their families, sports success was not on the chart, or at least not very much on top. I think, sports, the venue of sports teaches so many family values in and of itself. I know for us, and anybody that has children, you want them to be healthy, happy, and for us, each one of them to know God was important. And that comes from my parents and Tina's parents. And by the way, with us today is Tina's mother, Joyce Rissy. She's the only remaining living grandparent. And anyway, we just really appreciate this award. Thank you very much.
There are those very rare special moments that occur in Nebraska high school sports that the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame wants to make sure are remembered and recognized as great moments in Nebraska high school sports. This year, we recognize Geraldine Poe for great moments in sports. Running for Lincoln North Star from 2011 through 2014, Geraldine became the first cross-country runner in Nebraska high school history to win all 4 all-class gold medals in her sport. Others had won 4 gold medals in the sport, but no one had won 4 all-class gold medals. Geraldine also holds the 5,000-meter cross-country state record and was a 4-time Gatorade State Runner of the Year. Here to accept her award is her father, Ron Poe.
And thank you very much. This is also my wife, Mary, that's beside me today. It's truly an honor to recognize Geraldine for this award with all these great athletes and contributors here today. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to be with us. She's studying earth sciences at Michigan State University and competing on their track and cross-country teams up in East Lansing. There's numerous people that we'd like to thank for this award. But just in essence of time, just to name a few here. Greg Christ with Lincoln Youth Track Club. There was a day in winter of her sixth grade. We're up at Belmont Rec Center, like 13 laps to a mile, and she decided she's going to go for a 5-mile run. And Greg Christ happened to be there that day and recommended that she join the Lincoln Youth Track Club. And that's where she really got her start in competing with running. That year was 6th grade also. She was running for North American Martyrs Catholic school. She's in the city track meet, and in the 2-mile race she takes off, and I think she's about 200 meters into the race, and everybody's about 100 yards behind her. And at the end of the 8 laps, she says, the thing that kept me going was just counting people I passed. And there's like, I think there's 12 people in the race, and she counted 32 people that she passed that day. I also like to thank her high school coaches, Matt Musel and Brian Wanselak. They not only taught her how to, or coached her to the four state championships and 4 all-class gold medals, but they also taught her the love of running and what it means to be a runner, and that's what she is today. And of course, we can't forget her Grandpa Poe for the endless supply of Baby Ruths and Gatorade. I can't remember all of her stats from high school. I have Mary for that. But we do know if there was one disappointment in her high school career, it was that her team never went to state meet with her. She always competed as an individual. And one of her, when she was trying to pick a college to run for, one of her commitments was that she was going to go to a school and go to a team where she could try and compete for a national championship. Her senior year of high school, when she was being recruited, Michigan State was the national champions in cross country that year, and currently today they're ranked number 8th, and she's on their traveling team competing for them. Next weekend it'll be in Madison, Wisconsin. With all of her accomplishments, Geraldine has always strived to be a role model to her team members, and she still keeps in touch with the North Star girls today. And she's rooting them on to their hopefully get to the state meet this year. We were at the city championships here this past Friday, and we went up to one of her teammates, and the girl's like, "Oh my God, Mr. and Mrs. Poe, so good to see you. That reminds me, I need to call Geraldine because we call each other after every race." So she's still pulling for him, even though she's 725 miles away. So thank you very much.
The Dominant Dynasties Award was created by the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame as a way of honoring schools whose teams in a sport or sports excelled far above and beyond the norm over a long period of time. This year, we recognize two dominant dynasties. Being recognized this year for their dominance in the early 1980s is the Chadron High School girls golf team. From 1981 through 1984, the Cardinals were about as dominant in Class C girls golf as you could possibly be. They won state titles in all 4 of those years and won 27 of 33 tournaments they entered during that period. Led by 3-time gold medal winner Susan Roll, the Cardinals won those state titles by stroke margins of 14, 40, 35, and 40. Here to serve as the spokesperson for the Chadron girls golf teams is Susan Roll.
Thank you. Well, on behalf of my entire team, who many of us didn't get to see each other for 30 years, and I hope that never happens again, because you're all so wonderful. And it's great to be here with all of our friends and family. First of all, I'd like to say on behalf of the entire team, thank you to the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation for this amazing honor. Thank you to all our friends and family. Many of you are out there today and traveled many miles to be here to support us, and also for all those who have supported us and our team over the years. We couldn't have done this without you. And also, we'd like to congratulate all the inductees out there today for their amazing awards as well. It's just an incredible honor, and I just wish you all the best. So when I was sitting around with the team and we were thinking about what made this a dominant dynasty, I thought of this quote from the late Arnold Palmer that summed it up for me. Success in this sport depends less on strength of body than strength of mind and character. And when I think of our wonderful, amazing coach, Buck Edwards, sitting here and standing there now, he championed girls golf in the state, and he started the team for Chadron. And none of this would be possible without you, Buck. So thank you. Just so I can get through this. I think one of maybe the things we remember most, we asked what his best advice he thought he gave us was. And no offense, Buck, but it wasn't the swing tips. And you know what he said last night was, he thought the best advice he ever gave us was to count all our strokes. I thought that was right back to what Mr. Palmer said, which was, it goes right back to character. And he was telling us to be honest and live your life with integrity. So thank you for that. And now I'd like to announce our teammates. So first of all, we have from the class of '81, Marty Kanarik. She has been an independent insurance agent for over 25 years and lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Lou Thomas was formerly a pastry chef, and a very fine one, and now she is an administrator for drug and alcohol addiction recovery, and she lives in Oxnard, California. Dee Burks is a victim advocate for sexual abuse and a professional photographer, and she lives in Portland, Maine. And from the class of 1982, we have Dee Glenn. She works for Cabela's in the customer experience e-commerce department and lives in Sidney, Nebraska. And finally, from the class of 1985, which would be everybody remaining, the first on the list here, Robin Edwards, Buck Edwards' daughter. Robin is a physical therapist at the hospital in Sidney, Nebraska, and lives in Sidney as well. Dr. Angela Kim is a forensic psychiatrist, and she lives in Baltimore, Maryland. Felicia Archuleta lives in Lincoln and has her own interior design business. And my dear friend Robin Mueller who I got to call out a little bit here. We've been friends for 40 years, thick and thin, and Robin and I were 1 and 2 in state for our last 3 years of our state championships, and I just want to point out that amazing accomplishment. I'm so proud of you. And anyway, I'm very fortunate because she's vice president of our company that we run, Roland Chaikin Enterprises, and we are fortunate. We've been working in the golf business for over 25 years together. We own Carlsbad Golf Center, and we also saved a little golf course about a year ago with John Ashworth, and it's called Goat Hill Park Golf Course, and Robin was out there every day saving that golf course for the community. And anyway, I was just very proud of her. And she lives in Encinitas, California. I guess I have to say a little bit about myself. So after all that, I should end it there. For me, I've been in the golf business for 25 years. I'm a PGA and LPGA professional. I've had a wonderful career in golf, and I just want everyone to know how much high school sports have meant to me. I live in Rancho Santa Fe, California, and sports was a catalyst to our success in life, and I couldn't be more proud of this team or my school. And I just want to say thank you again to Buck Edwards for your outstanding contributions to high school sports. Thank you.
Our second dominant dynasty's team members being recognized are the Papillion La Vista girls softball teams from 1993 through 2014. The Monarchs qualified for state all 22 years during that time period, but they went far beyond just qualifying by winning 13 state titles, finishing runners-up 3 times, and placing third 3 times. The Monarchs had 46 different all-state players, and those teams compiled a record of 736. Here to serve as spokesperson for the Papillion La Vista girls softball teams is Coach Todd Peterson. Todd?
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Papillion La Vista High School softball program, I'd like to thank the Nebraska High School Hall of Fame for this award and the opportunity to speak about our dominant dynasty. I do have a few people here today. I just want to quickly introduce them. They have served the program in different capacities. First one here is Terry Ford, who's been a long-time assistant, or was a long-time assistant of the program. Next to him is Luke Olson, who is a current assistant coach. Kelsey Whipple, who is a former All-State player as well as a current assistant coach. Bernie Sheppers, who was a father of a softball player, but is also a contributor to our program. We call him the godfather of Papio softball. And his daughter, Sarah Sheppers, who's a former All-State player. And then next to him is a former assistant, first a parent of 2 daughters that played in the softball program, and then became an assistant coach, and we call him the mayor of Papillion. That's Curtis Range. And then next to him is a former father of Kelsey, or his father, Kelsey still. And he's also a contributor. He runs our website and does things for the program. That's Ross Whipple. So let's give them a hand. Thanks. Some of you may or may not know that softball's been an official sport for the NSA for 24 years. And there's been a lot accomplished by the Papillion softball program since that time, but also the sport itself. It's allowed more and more females the opportunity to get involved in athletics and has grown into a very large sport with 3 classes across all the state of teams playing. The first year the program was started in 1993, it was led by Coach Mike Govic, who built the program into a dynasty very quickly. Coach Govic couldn't be here today, but I had the opportunity to speak with him a couple times about the program as it relates to when he led it and as it's went through its years. Coach Govic built the program with the help of many dedicated assistants, but they built it on hard work, dedication, commitment, and striving for excellence. Myself, I came on as an assistant coach in 2005, and I can tell you I've never been a part of anything like it in sports. There was always the one goal of winning a state championship every year, but it was something that was never spoken about. It was all about the process of going through the season and getting to that final goal. When I asked Coach Govic what are some of the things that he looks at it from the dynasty and what was important, it was interesting. It wasn't, 13 state championships and things like that. It was other things. One of the things that he brought up was traditions. The traditions that have been a part of our program for those 24 years are still the same. There are a lot of the same things that we do, if it just goes with softball cheers or things that we do preparing for the state tournament or other things that go on through the season. It was also about being a trendsetter. At the beginning of the program, a lot of the summer workouts and some of the types of things that we did in the summertime as well as during the season, things like that, a lot of the other programs have now brought those types of things into their programs, and it's just made softball stronger throughout the state. So that was really important to him. And then the other thing is sportsmanship, is being humble in victory, and being a good sportsmanship through the the types of things that you learn through athletics. So those were very important to him and to the program. And as we continue on to the program, myself leading it, we also strive to keep those same traditions, continuing to build that dynasty and continuing the dynasty. Just to list just a few accomplishments that I think are pretty amazing, and I'm just lucky that I've been able to be a part of. We are now on 23 state appearances, and hopefully on Friday it'll be 24 in a row. We've won 13 state champions, including 10 in a row from 1995 to 2004, 4 state runner-ups. We won the first round of at the state tournament 22 out of 23 times. First and second round in the state tournament games were 41-1. The program now is at a record of 757 and 145, which is an 84% winning percentage. There's just been 3 coaches in the program, but now at this point we're at 49 different girls have had the opportunity to be All-State in those 23 years. 2 are four-year All-Staters, Gina Metzler and Lee Sir. And we also have 2 members of the Nebraska High School Hall of Fame, and that's Lee Sir and Peaches James. So it's been an incredible run, and obviously it's my responsibility, or part of my responsibility, to continue that on. But I just feel that I've been blessed to be a part of this and be a small part of this great tradition with the many, many girls that have contributed to it, the many coaches that have been a part of it, the many parents that have been a part of it. And so, again, thank you for the opportunity today and for the award and to be a dominant dynasty. Thank you.
Each year, the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame honors an official or officials who have been especially outstanding in their contributions to uphold the rules of the game sanctioned by the Nebraska High School Activities Association. This year's official being honored is Jim Page of Wayne. For over half a century, that's over 50 years, Jim has officiated high school football and basketball in Nebraska. Add to that 35 years, Jim has been a track starter and a triple jump official. As you might expect, he has won numerous awards and recognitions, not only for his endurance and longevity, but for the respect he has earned from hundreds of coaches and athletes along the way. Here to receive his award is Jim Page.
I would like to thank Joe DeSacco and Paul Eaton for the nominating of myself for this award, also the board, Hall of Fame board, for awarding this prestigious award. I have been officiating for a great number of years and have made numerous friends and acquaintances during the process. I am sure some individuals have left contests not really saying good things about my officiating ability. All officials know this comes with the territory. An official's job is to provide a fair shake for the young women and men participating in the athletic contest and not making everyone happy. I had 3 major partners over the years and shared their company en route to numerous contests. Jim Thede, my college roommate, Wes Fritz, a fellow faculty member at Wayne State College, and Mike Millette, a fellow Wayne resident. Thanks, gentlemen, for your dedication and help. Also, thanks to all other individuals that worked a variety of contests with me over the years. I had the good fortune of encountering a number of young men and a few young women that started their refereeing careers as my mentees. This award reflects all your help. 3 major partners, numerous crew members, and the young individuals just starting. In my eyes, this award is for all of us. The officiating process has changed for the better during my tenure as an official. For example, high school football has gone from 3-person crew to a 5-person crew. Basketball from 2 to 3. While track has seen the number of officials reduced with camera equipment. The Nebraska School Activities Association and the Nebraska High School Officials Association have stepped up and provided clinics and workshops for young and seasoned officials to improve their officiating skills by helping them to stay current on rules and mechanics. We need to continue to recruit young men and women to pursue this hobby in the future. We have not done a good job recruiting young ladies as future officials and need to encourage them to get involved. This should be a high priority in all facets of the profession. In closing, I would like to thank my family for allowing me to be a small part of numerous athletic contests, while in some cases not always being around for certain family functions. My wife, Sharon, the Herzbergs, son-in-law Mike, daughter Holly, grandsons Jaden and Jameson from Aurora, and the Craigs, grandson Chris, or son-in-law Chris, daughter Penny, grandson Evan, and granddaughter Isabel from Ramstein, Germany. May the school activities contest continue to be the best event in town. Thank you.
Now it's time to honor the coaches who are being inducted as part of the Hall of Fame's class of 2016. They're being recognized and honored for at least 20 years of high school coaching in which they achieved special goals with their respective teams. Our first recipient is Jim Barker. Jim started his career at Wheatland High School in Madrid, coaching there 5 years before moving to Scotts Bluff High School. For the next 34 years, he built a dynasty in boys cross country as his teams won 11 state titles, the most by any one coach in Nebraska. His Bearcats teams also were state runners-up in cross country 5 times. In a short stint as girls cross country coach, Scotts Bluff was a state runner-up. As boys track coach, his teams won 1 state title and were state runners-up once. Here to accept his award is Jim Barker. Thank you. You bet. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sincerely honored and very proud to be inducted today into the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame. But this honor also belongs to family and friends who've been a part of my life's journey. I'm eternally grateful and forever in your debt. I love and thank you all from the bottom of my heart for believing in me and for making me a better person. To be included with legendary Hall of Fame coaches like my dear friends George O'Boyle, Ted Larson, and Scotts Bluff's Wayne Binfield, it's unimaginable. Thank you, coaches, for setting the bar high, for your inspiration, and for your excellence. To all the cross-country and/or track and field coaches I've coached with or against, and that does include Geraldine's coach, Matt Musil, I am deeply appreciative of our relationships and friendships over the years. Thank you to Jeff Fielder of the Scottsbluff Star-Herald for nominating me for inclusion in the Hall of Fame class of 2016. You're an amazing and talented journalist, and your support of high school sports in the Panhandle, it's unparalleled. Thank you to my wife, Pam, my daughters, Kaylee and Carling. Your unconditional love and support is priceless. Thank you for encouraging me and allowing me to pursue my passion of coaching high school cross country and track and field for over 40 years. I love you all very much. And by the way, I think I say a pretty passionate coach right there. Thank you to my mom and dad, Jim and Ruth Barker, for making this possible. Now this is what's really special for me today. Today is my dad's birthday, although he passed away in 1998. So happy birthday, Dad. I know you and Mom and my brother Tom, who surprised me with a trip back from Arizona. Thank you for introducing me to the world of track and field while I was growing up in Lincoln. And for me, it was Huskers track and field all the way at you guys remember the Mushroom Garden down below the East Stadium. Thank you to my high school and college coaches. Max Hester, I ran at Lincoln Northeast, so once a rocket, always a rocket. And Woody Greeno at Nebraska Westland for your wisdom and mentoring. You have both been with me my entire coaching career, and that is the honest to God truth. God bless you both. Thank you to the Scottsbluff Public Schools for providing me the opportunity to blossom as a teacher and as a coach. To former head track coaches Jim Pettit, Jim Kruger, and Gary Hartman, thank you for your trust in me as the distance coach at Scottsbluff. Give me 1 second here to switch pages. Okay. Thank you to my mentor, Coach Jerry Pop from Wilmer, Minnesota. You taught me what it takes to turn mediocrity into excellence. To our current cross-country assistants, Aaron Carrizales, Aaron Shaw, John Seiler, and Steve Demritt, your passion for the sport and involvement with today's youth, it's awe-inspiring. You are greatly appreciated, and I thank you for everything you bring to our team. Thank you to the Nebraska School Activities Association and Nebraska Coaches Association for all you do to promote high school sports in our state. It's been an honor to serve the NCA as a member of their cross-country advisory board for in excess of 10 years. I've saved the biggest thank you of all for last to my superheroes, the hundreds upon hundreds of student athletes I've had the honor to coach and who've also made this day possible. Your gift to me will forever be a lifetime of memories. Thank you for an amazing journey thus far. There are literally dozens of memorable events, probably hundreds, that I could stand and tell you about all day today, but I want to share one that goes back to 1997, and it was the state meet in Kearney. A couple members of our, one boy and one girl on our team that year are here, David Stott and my daughter Kaylee. I think you will remember this quite well. Running in the rain and mud in absolutely horrific conditions, our boys were going for a repeat after winning the state title the year before. And what a performance. As we finished 1, 2, 5, and 9 to score 17 points, which remains today the state meet Class B scoring record. I think next year will be the 20th anniversary of that event. Plus, this is even more special in a way because it involves my daughter Kaylee. Plus, prior to the boys winning state that day, our girls team also won the state title for the first time in school history. Through 4 scores, it was tied at 44 with York. And our girls, we won it on the tiebreaker rule thanks to my daughter Kaylee, our 5th runner who had finished well ahead of York's 5th runner. And if you know the tiebreaker rule, tie goes to the next non-scoring runner. Both Scottsbluff teams would go on to win state titles the following year, resulting in a 3-peat for the boys and a repeat for the girls. Thank you, Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, for this day and for honoring such an amazing array of talent. I am deeply honored to be a member of the class of 2016. Thank you so very, very much.
Our next coach being honored today is Randy Carpenter. In 1974, Randy Carpenter started high school girls basketball program at Lexington High School. I'm not sure anyone, even Randy, knew that 37 years later, his teams would amass a 492 and 276 record. Along the way, his teams won 2 state titles, were state runners-up twice, district champions 13 times, and winners of the Southwest Conference 12 times. Here to accept his award is Randy Carpenter.
Members of the Hall of Fame Foundation, fellow coaches, fellow inductees, family and friends. I'm extremely honored and humbled to be receiving this award. As the program stated, when I was in Elm Creek, in my first coaching experience, I was a boys coach, assistant coach, and I really had the desire to be a boys coach all along. So when the Title IX was enacted in around 1974, and I was extended the offer to coach girls basketball in Lexington, I thought this might just give me an avenue to go to a boys' job somewhere down the line and pursue what I was really wanting to do. But as it turned out, 37 years later, I was still in that same position at Lexington as the girls' coach. Throughout my coaching tenure, I had the honor of having, excuse me, I'm having a hard time reading this. I had observed with great interest and with a lot of compassion how the girls program had grown from the early years of for around 74, 75 to what it was today. And it was pretty painful to watch a game back in those early years with all the jump balls and turnovers and very few shots going in the basket. But today's game is so very entertaining with the skill level that the girls exhibit closely matching the boys. And it was that constant improvement from one year to the next that convinced me to continue coaching through 5 decades. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I might have had played some small part in that. There are many people that I would like to thank that have been instrumental in my receiving this award today. First of all, to the Hall of Fame committee for my induction into this elite group. To Roger Miller, our superintendent of schools in 1974, for hiring me. To Ray Ehlers, our athletic director for many, many years in Lexington. Ray organized practice times and made sure that the girls program was receiving equal billing with the boys. I also really appreciate the fact that these 2 gentlemen allowed me to be the coach that I am. In other words, to coach the way I wanted to, which was kind of crazy at times. To the Lexington community, they had tremendous interest and support of the girls program for all those years. And Lexington was a tremendous place to be in terms of being a coach in the early 70s and 80s, 90s. It's always been a great sports town. We had a lot of tremendous athletes go through the high school, and so I was really fortunate to be there at that time. I'd like to thank all the coaches that have been assistants for me over the years. They've really been of tremendous help. To the players, regardless of the win-loss record, each year brought new faces and new personalities, and I really valued the relationship that we were able to establish. Being able to reconnect with these players periodically, and when they expressed to me that I had played a little bit of part in shaping their lives, That's, I think, one of the greatest rewards from coaching. And to summarize it, I think the only thing I can say is this is just as good as it gets. Thank you.
Our next coach being honored today is Charlie Gordon. From 1955 to 1985, Charlie Gordon led the Lincoln Southeast boys baseball team. During that time, the Knights enjoyed great success, taking home 5 state titles and finishing runners-up at state 4 times. Charlie's teams won a total of 12 district titles. Charlie also served as the boys' reserve football coach at Southeast for 17 years. Here to accept the award for the late Charlie Gordon is Randy Gordon.
Thank you, Steve, very much, and good afternoon, everyone. The entire Gordon family would like to thank the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation for the induction of our dad and husband, Charlie Gordon, in recognition of his career as a baseball coach of the varsity team at Lincoln Southeast High. I'd like to briefly mention the family members who are with us today. Dad's wife, Betty, whose late son, Leek Grodelution, played for our dad and later in the Atlanta Braves system in baseball. My brother Mike and his wife Mary, parents of 2 major leaguers with the Kansas City Royals system, and my sister Carol and her significant other, Steve Hart. I also want to thank Carol for writing these remarks, and I drew the short straw to present them. This is a tremendous honor, and we know how much our dad and husband would have liked to have been here in person to express his gratitude to the Hall of Fame Foundation. He also would have enjoyed the opportunity to express his affection and appreciation to all the athletes, some great, some not so great, who competed and played for him, as well as the close fraternity of coaches and teams against which his Knights competed. One of the other inductees, Bill Weber, as well as my brother Mike and I had a chance to play for our dad in baseball, and my sister Carol served as a team manager during her high school career. She was actually the second team manager who was a female that my dad picked. The first one, we think, was probably the first female ever to be a manager on a sports team, at least in the baseball area at Nebraska. And despite a 1976 incident in which she was caught in the dugout trying to fix a player's zipper, he took a second chance on my sister. So that shows he was a man of second chances. He also would want us to express his gratitude for the outstanding support he consistently received from the principals, athletic directors, fellow teachers, and all the others at Southeast who played a great role in his success. Most of all, he would have expressed his appreciation to his wife, Betty, and our stepmom, Betty, for her love and support over the 29 years of their marriage. Our dad was a quiet and humble man who rarely raised his voice. But he did know that if you were dedicated, worked hard, put in the effort, and kept your eye on the ball, you could succeed in baseball and pretty much anything else you wanted to achieve in life, no matter the odds. He instilled a sense of quiet confidence, teamwork, pride, and sportsmanship, and humility in all of his teams. He enjoyed every day of those 25 years of coaching. He thoroughly loved the game of baseball, respected the game, but he relished even more the opportunity baseball gave him to be around and to mentor a wonderful group of athletes and kids who went on to achieve great things in their own lives. He didn't even mind the bruises from head to toe that he got while pitching batting practice from 50 yards away. That was before the day of all these fancy cages where the batting practice pitcher gets protected. To him, it was just another day of a wonderful spring day. After he retired and his eyesight was failing, he still loved to go to the ballpark and watch his grandkids and the Knights play, with my sister sitting alongside giving the play-by-play. Vin Scully has nothing on her. Thank you again for this honor. Our family is deeply grateful, and we'll cherish the day for the rest of our lives. Thanks very much.
Our next coach being honored is Brad Hildebrandt. In 22 years of coaching Omaha Skutt Catholic Wrestling, Brad Hildebrandt saw his teams win 17 state titles. That's a phenomenal percentage. Add to that 3 state dual championships won by the Skyhawks. All in all, during his tenure as head of the Skutt Wrestling program, he produced 154 state qualifiers, 63 state champions, and 6 high school All-Americans. Brad has been named the Omaha World Herald and Lincoln Journal-Star Coach of the Year and is the University of Nebraska Omaha and Nebraska Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame. Here to accept his award is Brad Hildebrand.
Thank you. Good to see you too. I'm going to start with my glasses because I know I can't see. I've got some former wrestlers in the audience, and one of my assistant coaches and my wife, and before I get started, they wanted to make sure that they've got a clock on me because I tend to wander off in a Trump-like fashion to on my little talks in practice or at a banquet. I am so honored. This is an amazing honor, amazing award, and I really appreciate it. The first thing that I need to do, because if I don't do this first, then I will forget, just like I forgot to introduce my wife to Jerry Stein today when I walked in. I need to thank my wife. My wife is amazing. I spent 22 years coaching Scott Catholic. I at the same time spent 25 years as a firefighter, gone 24 hours, sometimes for my, a lot of times for my firefighting job, and then spending an enormous amount of time with a bunch of young, smelly boys. So she raised our sons and did an amazing job. And I couldn't have done this without her. So thanks, Gene. Second, my boys, Ryan and Bradley, sacrificed a lot. Neither of the boys wrestled. I probably ran them away from that early, all the time spent in the wrestling room, but Ryan played basketball and football, and Bradley is very involved in the arts. He's at the University of Minnesota in a Bachelor's of Performing Arts degree program up there, and very proud of those two. I need to thank a lot of people because wrestling has been very good to me. It brought me to the University of Nebraska in Omaha. It taught me tons of life lessons. I met my wife in Omaha. I met Ryan Kaufman, who convinced me to be a firefighter. I met Mike Denny. So as many of you in this room used athletics as a vehicle, I wanted to give back, and that's what they taught. These three people that I'm going to talk about taught me. Use that vehicle of athletics, or wrestling in my case, as a vehicle to make yourself better and to help other people. So these are the 3 Ds in my life. First one is my dad. He's coached 41 years and was athletic director at Griswold, Iowa. I became a firefighter, but I grew up in athletics, teaching, coaching, and my dad is unbelievable. Unbelievable coach. I remember sitting watching him on the grass on the football field, him coach. He was the line coach at Griswold, and his enthusiasm, he taught me about being enthusiastic and always being positive, and thank you, Dad. Love you for it. Second one is Darrell. Darrell Weaver got me interested in wrestling. Amazing coach out of Griswold, NAIA national champion, and taught me about the mental game of wrestling and mental toughness. And the third one, of course, would be Denny. Mike Denny, the legendary coach from UNO and now down at Maryville University. Coach Denny, I remember sitting in his office, and the impact of what coaches can have on kids. I think I'm a junior or something, and RJ Neby and I had just finished up a clinic, and he had watched us upstairs, and there was this, you'd always spent time on Coach Denny's couch in his office, and he said, Brad, you have a gift, and you need to give that gift to other people. And right at that moment, I knew I wanted to be a coach, but that really inspired me to contribute and give back to other people. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Our next coach being honored today is Pat Hoblin. Since 1973, Pat Hoblin has been head volleyball coach at Ansley, now Ansley Litchfield High School. During that time, Pat's teams have won over 680 games, 5 state championships, 1 state runner-up trophy, and 25 conference championships. Pat has also been the boys and girls track coach for 17 years, with her teams winning a total of 13 conference championships. Here to accept her award is Pat Hoblin.
Thank you. I am truly honored and blessed to be nominated, considered, and today inducted into the Nebraska Hall of Fame. Sports and coaching has always been a love and a passion of my life, and if I had it to do all over again, I'd pick this very same profession. In elementary, at an early age, I knew at that time that I wanted to be a coach of some kind. As I look back, it's been a truly amazing ride with truly amazing people around me. The training techniques and the sports have changed dramatically over the years. I have gone through Title IX and watched girls' sports evolve. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. In high school as an athlete, I was a high jumper, if you can imagine that, at 5'2". The high jump standards were a 2x4 with a nail in them and the heads cut off so the bamboo pole could set on the nails. And I used a Western roll and landed in a sand pit, usually sandburs also. My first year of coaching volleyball, I had 10 balls, 1 net, no assistant coach, and 36 girls out for the sport. So I think many coaches here today know some of the challenges and things that we have gone through and as the sports evolve. I've had the pleasure and privilege of working with some amazing athletes that have went on above and beyond and worked extremely hard. They are young, successful people now, and I'm very privileged to have known them and worked with them. I've had 12 girls go on to be coaches themselves. My whole career has been spent at Ansley High School, and they say surround yourself with strong, positive people. Ansley has been a perfect spot for me, from the students, school board, administration, and community. A place with great support. It is evident today, as I had a school bus full of kids, my students, my team, came and made the 3-hour trip today. Would you stand? I had no idea, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I've had 2 mentors that I've been fortunate to follow in the coaching ranks, Dale Sampe and Dan Moore. Dan, want to stand? They've been like big brothers. They've been like big brothers, provided support, guidance, and they've been there for the whole 40 years. So I appreciate those gentlemen and being role models. My family is here today, and as we know, coaches, our biggest support system comes from our families. My husband Jim is here, my daughter Kelly and her husband Ryan, and their 2 children, Marty and Morgan, and our second daughter Katie. Would you stand? I thank you from the bottom of my heart. This journey has been amazing. The ride has been amazing. I wouldn't choose anything different. And I would like to say thank you. I'm very honored and very humbled.
Our next coach being honored is Alan Vencura. Thanks to Alan, Hastings St. Cecilia has been noted as one of the top volleyball schools in the state. In 39 years of coaching, Alan's Blue Hawk teams have won 830 matches, 6 state championships, were state runners-up twice, and won the district tournament 19 times. Alan also had great success coaching St. Cecilia girls track teams, as his teams won 17 district and 2 state titles. He has been named the Lincoln Journal Star Coach of the Year in 1991. Here to accept his award is Alan Vencura.
I would first of all like to thank the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame for this honor. I am just truly overwhelmed, and I'd also like to thank those that were instrumental in nominating me and selecting me. I'm kind of the opposite of what Coach Hoblin would be, in that as I was going through college, I had no intention of going into the coaching profession, let alone coach volleyball. When I was in high school, we had no girl sports, so if a girl wanted to be involved in athletics, she was either a cheerleader or in pep club. It was during my first year teaching at O'Neill, I was asked to coach an intramural group of 8th graders in a volleyball school tournament they had, and so I said I'd do it. And I think at that time I probably knew that the ball was white, it had to go over the net, and you don't let it hit the floor, and that's about as much as I knew about the sport. And so I did that, and then the administration proceeded to ask me if I would be willing to be an assistant volleyball coach there. Well, I guess I wasn't smart enough, or else I was too naive to think that a first-year teacher could say no to the administration. So I said I would do it, and the head coach was also new, so I thought that might be a good situation. So for 3 years I coached junior high and freshman volleyball at O'Neill. And then I took a job at Hastings St. Cecilia, and man, I thought, I'm done with volleyball, nothing to worry about anymore, just going to be teacher. I did have some junior high track on my contract, so I was still going to the Nebraska Coaches Clinic, and at that time, it was in early August, and I went there just, learning a little bit about track, and a lot of it is social too, but I ran into the athletic director at St. Cecilia, which at that time was Larry Parker, and he introduced himself and said, oh, by the way, you're going to be the volleyball coach at St. Cecilia. And if that wasn't a shock to me, because I had just moved to Hastings, and I knew none of the kids. I found out that I was also the JV coach, and I was also the freshman coach. So kind of like Coach Hoblin too, we had one gym, one net, a few balls, and so it was a rude awakening for me. So I had roughly a week and a half to get ready for my first practice, and like I said, I knew none of the kids. I had no idea who these people were. So I relied on the previous coach who was still around, Linda Troush, so I have to thank her for helping me, because they did have tryouts and selection, so she helped me select the team, which was pretty much a repeat of last year's squad, since there weren't hardly any seniors on that team. So I appreciated that, and it just turned out to be a big learning process for me over the years, because I had known very little about the sport. I would talk to other coaches, I would go to clinics, I'd take volleyball theory courses over the summer, just trying to learn about the sport. And probably one of the biggest challenges that I had was to convince a group of athletes that a rookie greenhorn coach like me could be successful, because I'm sure they had their doubts. As I later found out, they actually asked me if I had anything written on my clipboard when I came to practice, and so I guess they questioned what I knew. But I went to this one class, and in the summer, and it said one of the speakers made the comment that repetition is the key to success, not variety. And I really used that as a key to my coaching. We were never blessed with a lot of height. I think in a 40-year period, I think I had 5 girls that were 6 foot or taller that started for me. So we dug a lot of balls. We passed and passed, and we eventually became a pretty good defensive team. We didn't do too much with blocking, because we weren't tall enough to do much with that anyway. So we just dug balls. And then, just when you think you're getting to the point of you got the sport figured out, they kept changing the rules. Went to rally scoring. Game all speeded up thanks to the University of Nebraska and all those. So it was a learning process all over again. Thank you again.
Well, earlier we honored one of today's contributors being inducted in the Hall of Fame, and now it's time to honor our other contributor, Mike Purdy. Mike Purdy is the epitome of a contributor, having spent 40 years of his life as a teacher, coach, and administrator with Bellevue Public Schools. He's been successful in the classroom, on the playing field, and as a leader. Mike has been very active in numerous organizations that play an important role in Nebraska high school sports. These include the Nebraska School Activities Association, the Metro High School Activities Association, and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Administrators Association. Here to accept his award is Mike Purdy.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame Foundation for this tremendous award. It's been a lifelong journey for me to begin participating in sports. From 40 years I've been involved in athletics, and through coaching, administration, and just working with kids. That's my goal, is that I think that one of the things that I wanted to do is make sure that we provide kids, our athletes, and our extracurricular activity programs every opportunity to be successful or to participate. And I think that athletics is, as you've heard, many of the inductees today that have said what a wonderful area that extracurricular activities is. And I have to second that. That's why I'm in this business. The Nebraska School Activities Association, Nebraska Coaches Association, and our association, Nebraska School Athletic Directors Association, and we used to have a smaller acronym for it, but through their wisdom, they wanted to expand it to the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. It's a big title. But what we try to do is provide opportunities for kids in our organization, and that's what I've been trying to do also. I couldn't do this without the support of my family, my wife. She's been solid, listening to all my complaints and joys. She's been a trooper in that area. My family is here today. My daughter Stephanie and Greg, her husband, Sydney, my granddaughter. I have my son Matt and his wife Lauren, and my grandchildren Jack and Elizabeth, and my brother and his wife Susie, Stan and Susie, and Mickey, my nephew. So I appreciate them coming today to help me accept this award that I'm very humbled to have. And thank you very much.
Well, now it's time to honor the athletes who are being inducted today into the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame as the class of 2016. Our first inductee is Terrence Badgett. High-flying Terrence Badgett led the Omaha South Packers to a state championship in 1990. His senior year, Terrence averaged a double-double with 24 points and 11 rebounds per game, landing him first-team All-State honors. Badgett went on to have a stellar career at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, becoming a 4-year letter winner and playing a key role on their NIT championship team. He also played at various levels of professional basketball. Terrence is not able to be with us today, and here to accept the award in his behalf is Pat Salerno, the president of the Nebraska High School Hall of Fame Foundation.
I certainly can speak for Terrence, and the fact that he can't be here today, we certainly recognize his talents, and we thank him for the efforts that he's made in athletics. I appreciate very much the fact that he's given those kind of talents to his sports. So thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Charlie Borner Jr., former golf coach at North Platte High School and current pro at Hillcrest Country Club in Lincoln. Charlie began his legacy as one of the state's all-time great golfers, winning Lincoln City boys and state junior titles early in his career. He led Lincoln High to a state title in 1964 and achieved the rare feat of winning back-to-back individual titles. He went on to have a successful career at the University of Nebraska, lettering 3 years, and finishing 26th in the NCAA tournament. Here to accept his award is Charlie Borner Jr.
First of all, I'd like to thank my good friend Mike Brown for handling the application of induction paperwork and writing a wonderful letter. I kidded Mike about writing such a spectacular letter that he could write for any paper here in Nebraska. Thank you, Mike. Also, it's nice to have family and friends here this afternoon. And I also would like to thank the Foundation Board for this wonderful honor. I'd also like to congratulate all the other inductees and honorees this afternoon. On a special note, it's nice to have 2 golfers from Lincoln High School being inducted this afternoon. I don't know where Sarah is, but she'll be introduced a little later. Congratulations, Sarah. I had to go to Lincoln High. Bill Fife lived right across the street. The Fife family lived right across the street from where we were living. And for those of you that don't know who Bill Fife was, he's in this Hall of Fame. He was a longtime football coach at Lincoln High, dean of boys, and athletic director. I also had 2 sisters that graduated from Lincoln High as well, so I didn't have a choice to go to any other school. Lincoln High School had great coaches and faculty. The golf team had it pretty good back in the day. Usually on a Friday we'd go to an invitational or a meet and play, and hopefully did well. But on the way back, Coach Beechner would remind us that we're going to King's Food Host, and they had a great buffet there. That gave us an opportunity to bond with not only teammates, but bond with Coach Beechner. To Dick Beechner, my golf coach at Lincoln High School, we couldn't have had a better coach. He motivated us to excel and led us to a state championship in 1964. Also, I'd like to mention my uncle, Harry Kaufman. I couldn't have had a greater teacher. He also graduated from Lincoln High School and won the state golf championship in 1936. This has been a great honor for me, and I want to thank my family for their love and support. I truly have been blessed. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Tony Davis. Well known for his great football career at the University of Nebraska and as a pro for 7 years, Tough Tony was a great all-around athlete at Tecumseh High School. As you might expect, he was a 2-time All-State and All-American running back for the Indians, but he was also standout at basketball, leading his team in scoring 2 years and earning second-team All-State honors. Davis was also the school record holder in the shot put and earned a trip to the state track meet in the 180-yard low hurdles. He was also a great Legion baseball player, leading his team in batting average and home runs. Here to accept his award is Tony Davis.
Anybody want to stand up? Stand up. I'm serious. Stand up. Gee, listen, I'm old. My butt had to stand up several times. So if you guys want to stand up a while, shake it out, do that. I promise I will not keep you here 20 minutes like some of these guys have. I never liked the Tough Tony name, and the reason I didn't like it is, can you imagine you're watching film, your teams watch film of the opponent, and the coach says they call this guy Tough Tony. You think he gets a few shots in the bottom of piles for that stupid name? And I used to tell the sports writers, quit calling me that, man. Why do you mean quit calling me that? I said, well, you can take those shots at the bottom of a pile and see how you feel about it. Hey, I'd like to thank the Nebraska Schools Activity Association. I have, this is indeed a great honor. Being raised in rural Nebraska in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, it was a unique time. We were raised by a community, as those of you from small towns know. And if you went someplace and played and got in trouble, that a phone call was made, and by the time you got home, you caught it a second time. So So small town Nebraska was kind of cool, and I enjoyed that part of it a lot. I have family here, my two sisters and brother and their husbands and wives are here. Stand up, stand up. I'm going to embarrass you. Stand up. Stand up. Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you. My son Tony, my son Josh, my daughter Dara. Stand up. I can't, we talked about these people say I got to wear glasses. I left my prescription glasses at home. I got prescription sunglasses. I can't see anything. Now I can see you. My grandson's here. Stand up, Liam. Good. Okay. Very, very quickly, we're all kind of products of our environment, and being raised in Tecumseh was no different. And to have good teams, this to me is a Tecumseh award more than it is for me. In that the people we were raised with and how you were influenced. And my first influence was a Hall of Fame coach named Lee Zinnick. Is he here? Coach Zinnick, you here? It might not be him and his assistant, Gary Spear. I know Gary Spear's here. Gary, stand up, Gary Spear. I want to see you. There he is, Coach Spear. And now my legal name is Michael Eugene Davis. I was called Tony my whole life, and he was the one who named me Tony. And so I actually never knew why for the longest time, and so, but that's okay. And they came in. When they came in to coach, I was 10 years old, and I lived right across the street from the football field. And so I was over there every day, and I was in the middle of huddles, and I was bothering them and all this stuff. But one thing I learned from watching those guys and watching guys like Steve and Gary Waring, who are here, these were great players for Tecumseh. Those teams were state championship contenders, and I learned how to compete watching these guys coach and watching these guys play. And then as I progressed through junior high and high school, my brother-in-law was a very good athlete. My brother Dave was brother Dave and Dan were good athletes, and I was the youngest of 6 kids, and people wanted to know when I was playing in Nebraska, why are you so tough and this and that. And I said, well, I was the youngest of 6 kids. I had 2 brothers who used to just beat the crap out of me, and then 3 sisters who just mentally tortured me. So you had to be kind of tough. And by the way, my brother Dave's a high school official in town, and he's been catching hell most of his life, and so he just gets up practice every day. Thank you, and I'm so honored to take this. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Stacy Jacobowski Longacre. A 12-time letter winner at Howells High School, Stacy excelled in volleyball, basketball, and track. As a 2-time All-Stater in volleyball, she led the Bobcats to a state title in 1981. During her career in basketball, she scored over 1,000 points and grabbed 600 rebounds. And in track, Stacy won 2 state titles in high jump and amassed 437 points at the state meet during her career. She went on to star in both volleyball and track at Kearney State College. Here to accept her award is Stacy Jacobowski Longacre.
Thank you. It's really an honor to be here. This, too, like Tony said, is more an award for the community of Howells than myself. Thinking back, it was 1973 when Coach Morrison and his basketball team won that first state title, and the streets of Howells were lined with people, and the fire trucks escorted the team to town. People were dancing in the street. Old ladies changed the name to Polkas to fit Howells Bobcat basketball. And so I think it was from that time on that My friends and I just wanted to follow in our older siblings' footsteps. And so by the time we got to high school and it was our turn, certainly state titles were always our goal. I was so blessed to have great coaches. Coach Jeff Ritz, thank you for nominating me. Clearly you don't remember all those times yelling at me, or you wouldn't be nominating me today. I do think one time you told me, or asked me if I used the playbook for toilet paper. Clearly you did not want me to shoot every time I got the ball and preferred I run a play. And you were always perplexed that I could win the state high jump. However, I couldn't jump to get a rebound or to shoot the ball. So I am sure I'm responsible today that you have no hair as well. But thank you for being on the board, because I'm sure that helped my selection today. Daryl Tim was our volleyball coach. This was a time, I'm old, so this was a time when power volleyball was just getting started, and he was a really progressive coach, smart guy. Most teams ran a 4-2 and put their shortest person as the setter, which would be in the middle of the court. He thought, I think I'll put my tallest player, have her hit in the middle over the shortest person. That will really make her look good. So he was the reason for a lot of my success in volleyball. And of course, my teammates, I played with some of the greatest people ever. They made me look good, put up with all my craziness. And obviously, coming from a family of 6 athletes, my mom put up with a lot. Pretty sure she didn't own anything that wasn't glued. After one game, my brother wanted to give me a lesson in boxing out, and I think the Christmas tree took a tumble on that round. But we were always shooting the ball around the house and whatever. Only in Howells can any athlete ring the superintendent's doorbell and ask for the keys to the school, and he gives them to them. Anyone that wanted to go shoot hoops or bat the volleyball around was always welcome to go up to the gym. So many nights, my friends and I would recruit the guys, and we'd go up there and play till sometimes wee hours of the morning. Sometimes we'd make the guys play volleyball with us, and sometimes they'd make us play basketball. And I'm pretty sure that's where I learned to elbow and fouled out of quite a few games, I'm pretty sure. But we had a great time. We loved being together, playing together, and loved athletics. This is a bittersweet day for me. My dad, we lost a month ago, and many of you old-timers probably knew him as Jake. He was very active in high school sports. He was a superintendent. He was a coach, a custodian, hired the greatest teachers and coaches for Howells High School. His legacy lives on. Many of you know him and know what a great man he was. So I'm just really touched and honored to receive this award. Thank you.
Our next inductee is John McWilliams. A three-sport standout for Sydney High School, John McWilliams earned 12 letters during his high school career. He was an all-state running back on the football team that went 8-1 and leading scorer on the basketball team. And in 1952, Sydney won the state title in track, and John contributed a second-place finish in the high hurdles and third-place finish in the long jump. McWilliams went on to play for the University of Nebraska football team, earning 3 letters and all Big 7 honors in 1955. Here to accept the award for the late John McWilliams is his son, John McWilliams, Jr.
I'd like to thank the Nebraska High School Hall of Famers. I'd like to thank all the other inductees. My father was a good man. excuse me. I said I would go cry when I got up here. Anyway, I know my father's smiling down from heaven right now. And I'm just honored and blessed to receive this award for him. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Don Meyer. One of the most successful and respected college basketball coaches of all time, Don Meyer began his athletic career at Wayne High School. He was a 2-year starter on the Blue Devils football team, averaged over 20 points a game for 2 years on the basketball team, and was an ace pitcher in baseball. Don went on to become an All-American in basketball at Northern Colorado, and then started his illustrious coaching career that eventually included winning 2 NAIA national titles while at Lipscomb University. Don has already been inducted into the Wayne High School, Northern Colorado, and NAIA Halls of Fame. Here to accept the award for the late Don Meyer is his wife, Carmen Meyer.
Well, it looks like a lot of people have had to catch a plane. It's emptying out, so at least I'm not as nervous with not as many people out there. On behalf of my late husband, I want to thank all of those responsible for Don receiving this honor. From a young age, he dreamed of being an athlete and a coach. He grew up on the farm, and playing high school sports certainly helped foster those aspirations. He achieved great success in his playing and coaching careers, and that was primarily due to 2 reasons. Number 1, he loved what he was doing, and number 2, he worked extremely hard. Cancer took Don's life 2 years ago, and I know if he was here, he would want to share with you one of his favorite Bible verses from the book of Ecclesiastes. Moreover, when God gives any man wealth and possessions and enables him to enjoy them, to accept his lot and be happy in his work, this is a gift from God. He seldom reflects on the days of his life because God keeps him occupied with gladness of heart. When Don autographed books for coaches, he would always write, "Coach for the love of the game and the love of the kids." And this certainly sums up his life, a life well lived. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Rick Meyer. Nebraska has produced some of the top discus throwers and shot putters in the entire country. And Rick Meyer is right near the top of that list. While competing for Superior High School, Rick set the state record in the discus on a couple of occasions and won the Class B state title in the event 2 years running. During those same years, he medaled twice in the shot put. After high school, Rick became a 3-time Southwest Conference champion in the discus for Houston University and won the NCAA National Discus title in 1985. Rick was also a standout football and basketball player for Superior High School. Here to accept his award is Rick Meyer.
Thank you. Thanks for the board for nominating me. Thanks for my wife. But most of all, thanks to the board, thanks to my family. You guys have been great. Sue, I talked to Sue a couple times on the phone and talked about what to talk about, and she says, just tell something that happened to you in high school. So it's funny, 36 years later, story that comes to mind. I was first meet of the year, my senior year, was thrown in Hebron, and all pumped up, first throw, first meet. Well, in Hebron, small field, small track, there's a metal building sitting down the right line about 170 feet away. And I'm all pumped up, first throw, right out of the right side of my hand, flies straight out there, smacks right into that building. And I don't know if you all know Les Hill, great guy. He's always nice to me, Hebron track coach. I look over at Les. Les is just staring at me. I said, oh, geez. Just dented Les's building. So I go on with the meet, didn't throw that great that day. After the meet, I walked up to Les. I said, Les, I said, sorry about that. So I saw you kind of give me an evil look there. And he says, no, he says, I've never seen anybody hit that building before. So it made me feel a little better. But anyway, yeah, it's great to be back here. Live in Houston, don't get back that much. It's great to be nominated for this award, being, you know, a Houstonite. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Kevin Raymakers. An All-Big 8 selection for the University of Nebraska football team in 1993, Kevin started his athletic career at Norfolk Catholic High School, excelling in 3 sports. In football, he was a 2-time All-State selection and helped lead the Knights to a state title game. After placing 3rd in state wrestling meet for 2 years, Kevin capped off an outstanding senior season in the sport by losing only 1 match and winning the Class C state title. In track and field, he established himself as one of the all-time great shot putters, winning the Class C state title his junior year and taking home the all-class gold his senior season. Here to accept his award is Kevin Raymakers.
I shall only take about 45 minutes, but I'll try to speed it up. No, and Coach Adams, my wrestling coach, and I were talking today. I actually didn't lose that match. It was a first invitational at Norfolk Catholic, and I got kicked out of the tournament. so something I'm not real proud of. But anyhow, I want to thank the Hall for inducting me into this. This is a nice honor, and especially I want to thank you because I married a girl from New Orleans, and she didn't think I was a very good athlete in high school. So hopefully this will prove to her that I was competitive. But this award really it's not about me. The bottom line is that God did great things for me in my life. I was at Norfolk Catholic High School. I had 2 unbelievable parents, 10 siblings, and the meanest, nastiest older brothers a kid could ask for, right? So they made me tough as hell. But what came along the way was there's 6 men in my life, 5 men in my life actually, that were unbelievable mentors and coaches. First of all, I want to start with Doug Shelton. Doug, stand up. Doug was my first flag football coach. You can get up, your knees aren't that bad. And he also helped me with shot put throughout high school, and still keep in touch with Doug today. The next one is Jeff Beller at Norfolk Catholic High School. You may have heard that name a couple times. He's turned out all right. He was my first coach. The first year he was new to Norfolk Catholic, so we kind of cut our teeth together and had some great runs of football there. Next one is Mike Bivens. Mike Bivens was my, to me, Mike Bivens was a lot to me. He was basically my therapist, my psychologist, my trainer, my football coach, my track coach. Just a great guy. Had a great connection with Mike in high school, and just an awesome man. Next one is Mike Adams. Mike Adams was my wrestling coach. He went to the dark side. He's over at Pierce High School now, but you know, he was just a great he was a great mentor, a great coach, and pushed me hard. And then Doug Zoha, I saved him for last. Doug Zoha was my first 7th grade football coach, and I'll never forget this. He was a history teacher in high school. He had long hair. He's a complete hippie, right? And just I thought he was the coolest guy on the planet, but he was mean as hell. He was very candid, very direct, but he held me accountable, and I needed that as a kid. I needed to be held accountable. And we'd done a trip to go to Nebraska. He took, I think it was 8th grade or 7th grade. I can't remember what year it was. But we went to the University of Nebraska, and we actually got on the field, and the first time in my life that I'd ever been at the University of Nebraska in a stadium. And they had somebody come invite us out, and he said, okay, you can all run into the end zone and back. And right as I was taking off to run out, Doug Zoha grabs my arm. And I was always in trouble anyhow. I thought, well, what'd I do now, you know? And he grabbed my arm, he said, enjoy this. He said, because you're going to be playing here in 5 years. And that stuck. So, my point is this. They all believed in me. They showed me how to dream, and then they taught me how to get there. And I didn't do it myself. I was blessed with a big body, a mind of a 3-year-old, and you know, just a nasty, mean attitude. And I think that, you know, I've always believed in, you know, in business today and with my family, my boys and my wife, fortune favors the bold. I'm a true believer of that. You're going to outwork somebody, you're going to out-hustle somebody, you're going to outdo everything you can. And these guys did that for me. It was still team, but these guys literally like father figures to me. I just want to let you guys know I wasn't the greatest student athlete when you had me, but what you taught me now I'm living every day of my life. You taught me how to be a man and how to hold people accountable and work your butt off each and every day. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I love you.
Our next inductee is Sarah Sassy Kildow. A 4-year letter winner in golf at Lincoln High School, Sarah Sassy had a dominating senior season in 1997. She won every tournament she played in that year, including capturing the state title, which she had also won the previous year. After high school, Sarah competed for the University of Nebraska, winning the Big 12 Conference title in 2003 and becoming the first Husker to be named a first-team NCAA All-American. Sarah was also a dominating player in the Nebraska State Amateur events, winning the state stroke play title 5 years. She also competed as a professional golfer for 5 years. Here to accept her award is Sarah Sassy Kildow.
Well, a couple of things. If you're reading your program, I don't know who wrote this, but diminutive? Couldn't wear heels on the golf course, but I never felt small on the golf course, so just wanted to straighten that out. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for nominating me for this great honor. It's truly special, and again, I'm humbled. To be selected in consideration of the rich history that we have in Nebraska, it's, again, just really, really special for me and my family. Congratulations to all of the other inductees. Charlie Boyner, go Lynx. Nice to have us represented. Looking back at my golf career and experiences as a golfer, it was primarily a selfish time for me. You're worried about practicing and getting better and winning, and that's what it should be when you're an athlete. And I was really, really fortunate to have that opportunity. As my dad used to say before every tournament, let's kick butt and take names. And so that's what my focus was, is to kick butt and take names. Now as an adult, as a mother, as a past high school administrator, and a working professional, my perspective has changed. You see, to be successful in athletics, as we all have been, you need 3 elements. You need some ability, which I was lucky enough to have some ability in golf. You need work ethic. My dad taught me that. And then you need the opportunity. And really that's what I've come to really respect and appreciate, is the fact that so many people that are unsung heroes help create that opportunity. It created an opportunity for me to compete and to be on a team, to be an athlete. It created an opportunity for me to go to college, and it created so many opportunities, even unrelated to golf, that I can't thank those people enough. My parents, my 4 sisters, my uncle, my coaches, high school administrators, golf course staff, even some media members. Riley, if you're still here, tell Ken thanks. And numerous others that assist in creating the opportunity for me to compete. Rides to and from the golf course. People used to say, wow, Sarah practices every single day, you know, and I did, and I enjoyed that, but somebody had to get me there and then had to pick me up, and, you know, same thing every day. Funds, support, coaching, mentoring, and more. I mean, I'm not here accepting this award without all of those that helped create that opportunity. So, in appreciation of the award, I'd like to humbly accept it for all of those that helped create that opportunity, and really the opportunity for all of us honorees to compete. So, thank you.
Our next inductee is Linda Schnitzler Walker. Earning 11 letters in 3 sports in high school is quite an achievement. Add 8 letters earned in college, and you've had quite an athletic career. Linda Schnitzler was a standout performer for Battle Creek High School from 1982 through 1984, leading the Bravettes to 2 state titles in basketball, collecting 7 state medals in track and field, and being named all-conference in volleyball. Linda certainly earned the college scholarship she accepted to attend Wayne State by setting multitudes of school records in both basketball and track. Here to accept her award is Linda Schnitzler Walker.
I'm truly blessed and humbled to be receiving this award today. No one person can do this alone. So I want to thank my parents, my family, all my coaches, teammates, friends, and the community of Battle Creek. And at this time, I'd like all of those people to stand and be recognized. Stand up, family, friends that are here today. Thinking back to my childhood and my high school days really dates me. It's hard to believe that it was 32 plus years ago since I wore the purple and the gold. However, many of those memories still feel like yesterday. Memories that ignited school spirit and team camaraderie. There's nothing like Coach Schnitzler, raging pep rallies, the crazy locker room preps before practice and games, the bus trips, freezing cold and sun-blistering track meets, Saturday all-day volleyball tournaments, and of course, many state basketball tournaments where we rode in the camper and then coming home being escorted into town by Big Jim with flashing lights and the convoy. To this day, my teammates and I reminisce about the good old days and the pure joy and the hard work that we called fun. And then I started to think about other stories, you know, and one crazy story that I want to share with you today has to do with power food. And my father, being a coach, it was before track meets. We would have vegetable soup, applesauce, strawberries, a bowl of cereal and milk, a glass of orange juice, and it went on and on and on. And we would eat that before we would take off for the track meets. So one night, before a track meet, my younger sister Mary, who was a freshman and I was a senior, we were starving. And we're like, we need to find some power food. So we found in the cupboards a bag of raisins. And we decided, you know, we should just have one handful. But by the time we had ate the whole bag. And the next day, oh yeah, we had power, but we had the wrong kind of power. I don't think she remembers that. Being an athlete, having faith, loving parents, and having, you know, 5 siblings to set the pace have given me life lessons that carried me through college, parenthood, and now as I entered my 27th season of coaching and teaching. I had the opportunity 25 years out of high school to relive a moment of history, to coach my daughter as my father did, and play Bishop Newman in the state basketball tournament. What a game it was. It went into overtime. To this day, when a team is crowned and that music sounds, that so familiar feeling of accomplishment radiates through me. I want to congratulate all the inductees today. I want to thank the Nebraska Hall of Fame Association for this great honor and this banquet. And I want to especially thank my husband, Drew, and our children, Jake, Aaron, Ryan, and Brett, for letting me continue to love athletics. In closing, I once said when I was 17 years old in an exciting interview, I have a super dad, and he's a super coach. And now I want to add to that, that I have a super family. I have super friends who I love very much. Thank you.
Our next recipient is Laura Spanheimer Deschamps. When you take a full look at Laura Spanheimer's sports career at Omaha Marian High School, it's easy to see why she was named Female Athlete of the Year by the Omaha World Herald and Lincoln Journal-Star. In cross country, Laura placed second 2 years and won the individual gold her senior season. In basketball, she was a two-time All-Metro and All-State selection. And in track, she won an incredible 8 all-class gold medals in distance and relay races. After high school, Laura accepted a scholarship to play basketball at Creighton University, setting several school records and earning numerous all-conference honors. Here to accept the award is Laura Spanheimer Deschamps.
Thank you very much for this honor. I'd first like to congratulate all the other inductees here today. I feel humbled and honored being in your company on such a special day. These sorts of honors don't just happen by accident. It's because of the tremendous support that I received from my family and friends and coaches. I want to start with my parents and family who gave me the opportunities to pursue athletics. They made all those races, all those games, all those long practices seem a little bit easier, and their never-ending support meant so much to me. Then there are my teammates. Years after graduating, the girls I shared so many hours with on the court and on the track and in the classroom are still some of my best friends. And I also want to thank all the great coaches I was fortunate to have during my time at Marian. Coach Miller, who's here today, Coach Wright, Coach Rolfs. With their guidance and passion and dedication, they created so many successful teams and, more importantly, many successful young women. I'm grateful for this incredible honor, and I consider it a privilege to be part of this Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Bill Weber. Already inducted into the Nebraska Hall of Fame, his great career at the University of Nebraska, Bill Weber enters into the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame today for his outstanding athletic career at Lincoln Southeast High School. Bill was a two-time All-State selection in football and an All-City selection in both basketball and baseball. In 1980, he was named Male High School Athlete of the Year by the Lincoln Journal-Star. All in all, Bill played in 10 state championship games in football, basketball, and baseball. Here to accept his award is Bill Weber.
I'd like to thank the foundation for this humble honor. A lot's been said, a lot's been repeated. I think they're all important messages. It's 4 o'clock. We've all been here for 2.5 hours, but I may tell a story or two. Raymakers and Tough Tony and I all crossed paths some 25 years ago, and I kind of wanted to hold all those people that enabled Tony to be the guy he was accountable for what they put the rest of us through. But I got a great story about Tony. Coach Osborne, we were sitting in the coach's office one day. I had the honor of being a graduate assistant for a couple of years. And Coach Osborne, he didn't tell a lot of stories. That wasn't his nature. But he looked at Tony, and Tony was on the video coordinating staff at the time. And he said, Tony, you know, you were the 45th recipient of a scholarship when you were a senior in high school. And if you can imagine, back in the day, they gave out 45 scholarships a year, and Tony kind of shook his head and said, yeah, I remember that, Coach. And I think Tony was our starting I-back as a sophomore. And I think Tony represents what's great about small-town Nebraska, with the right heart, with the right desire, and the right self-control at times, you can be a great performer. I think Tony, after his first touchdown, went over to kick the pylon and then kiss somebody in the corner of the end zone. And it's too bad he had a lead today, because I wanted to bring that up again. But I think Tony, he symbolizes what small town athletes can do when they're given an opportunity. Now Kevin, he's a little different story. Kevin was a big guy, and there wasn't a challenge that Kevin couldn't feel like he could overcome. And I remember Coach McBride, he always knew you were in trouble when he yelled your last name, and he would just yell out Raymakers, about every practice, and Kevin would kind of whimper back over to Coach and recognize his mistake. But I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, Kevin, but I don't know if it was 89 or 90, our offensive line was kind of struggling, we thought, the graduate assistants, and we thought the line coaches were kind of taking it easy on our starters. And they went off recruiting during the preparation for the bowl game, and we kind of told Kevin and his redshirt scout team guys to take it hard, against our offense during practice. And boy, Kevin, he took that as a great opportunity, and that wasn't easy to do when you're going against these upperclassmen who really don't want to be showing up during practice. But Kevin never backed down from a challenge, and that's the kind of guy he was. Again, emblematic of what Nebraska high school athletes are all about. There's a lot of people I'd like to thank. My dad is here today. He's been a great supporter of me and my family. I think I got my athletic ability from my dad. He played for Bill Fife, prior recipient, speaks very well of Coach Fife and the opportunity he gave my dad. I think my mother, she wasn't a great athlete. We played volleyball at a family Easter event every year, and her nickname was Roots because her feet never moved. The ball would get, within touch, and she just never moved. And, my daughter, she's playing soccer right now at University of Nebraska at Kearney, and I think my daughter has some of those traits that my mother had. My daughter hasn't realized that soccer's a running sport quite yet, but my mother was the person in my life that hated to lose. She took losses harder than I did, I think, and she was the dreamer for me. I really didn't think about playing college athletics. I thought I'd just compete, enjoy, have fun, and the next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call from Coach Osborne. So thank you.
Annually, the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame honors a silver anniversary team or teams to honor achievements by a high school team 25 years ago. This year, we honor silver anniversary teams from two high schools whose team members competed in the 1991-92 school seasons. First, we would like to recognize Bertrand High School football and boys basketball teams. Having won Republican Valley Conference titles the previous two seasons, the Bertrand football team put together a perfect 13-0 record in 1991 on the way to winning a Class C2 state championship. Bertrand also won the Class C2 state basketball title that school year, amassing a 22-1 record. Here to serve as spokesperson for the Bertrand High School teams are football coach Ron Kubik and basketball coach Steve Ekstrom.
Thank you to the Hall of Fame for this honor, and congratulations to all the inductees and honorees. What a tribute to Nebraska athletics. I would also like to thank my family, Loretta, my daughters, Jennifer, Christy, and Angie, and their families. Stand up, please. Coach Steve Ekstrom, and most of all, these amazing gentlemen right here. All of them couldn't be here today, but what a great group of student athletes. Just fantastic. And the thing that makes us most proud is every one of these gentlemen and the ones that couldn't be here are great individuals and family members today. And that's what makes me proud to be a coach. Also, we had a member who gave his life in the Iraqi war force, Mr. Jeff Hansen. Jeff, rest in peace, buddy. Thank you very much.
As you can probably tell, Coach Kubik is the emotional coach. I'm the screamer and yeller of the two. And I would also like to thank the Hall of Fame Foundation for this award. I would also like to thank my wife and our 4 kids, Chris, Lindsay, Allie, who is here, and my son, Matt. And just a story about Allie. We won state basketball, and we were going to have everybody over the next day to kind of revisit the game film and watch the game on TV again. And my wife decided to go into labor. And our daughter was born that next day. And one of our friends in the hospital said, "Well, you beat Shelby in the finals, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." "Well, why don't you name her Shelby Victoria?" We declined. These gentlemen right over here were all a part of the football team, and a lot of them were part of the basketball team. And I've got a picture of these guys at their prom that spring, all dressed in tuxedos. Had the state trophy with us, basketballs. We took a real opportunity there to take a neat picture. I have that up in my room right now in my Minden High School classroom. And every year I said, "You look at those guys up there." Every one of them was an A student, except Tony. We have our own Tony Davis. And as you can see, he's often confused with the other Tony Davis. No, these guys have been great. This was one of the neatest years that I've ever experienced as a coach. Being able to take home a football trophy in the fall and come back in the spring under all kinds of pressure, thanks Coach Kubik, and try to repeat as basketball champions. But they found a way to do it, and I couldn't be prouder to be called their head coach in basketball and the assistant coach in football. Bertrand was a great place to coach. That community of 700 plus people were probably all in the stands at Devaney Sports Center. They were all lining the fields of Bertrand when we beat Bloomfield in the finals during the football run, and that's just the way we were at that time. But it started a couple years before that, and we continued to excel in Bertrand years after that. But these guys were the foundation, and we keep in touch all the time. We laugh. We spent a lot of time last night laughing, and that's the neat part about coaching. So thank you to the Federation, and thank you.
Our next silver anniversary team being honored today is the Lincoln Pius X girls basketball team. Seniors on that Pius X team in 1992 compiled a record of 70 wins and 2 losses through 3 seasons, including 35 consecutive wins. The Thunderbolts won the 1992 state Class B championship with a record of 25-0. Here to serve as spokesperson for the Lincoln the Pius 10th girls basketball team is their coach, Don Kelly.
You guys can come closer. Well, you can see there's obviously more than just the two of us on the team, but they were an outstanding group. When I had to look for some information, I was reminded of the Grandma and Grandpa that was sitting out on the porch after they had their evening meal, and Grandpa looked at the moon and said, you know, your teeth shine just like pearls in the moonlight. And Grandma said, well, who's Pearl and what were you doing out after dark? This group had all of the ingredients for a championship team. They played very well together. They had the necessary shooting, rebound, defense, and this is one of the reasons why they should be considered among the better girls basketball teams that have been acknowledged previously. They had a 74-2 record over their 3 years in school. They had 2 losses as sophomores and 0 losses as juniors, 1 loss as a junior and no loss as a senior. They had 35 wins in a row, 54 wins at home, and again a 74-2 for their high school career. Either of you want to say anything? So as a result, I want to thank the committee for honoring this group. They're certainly deserving. I also want to congratulate the other candidates today because I did have the opportunity to coach against a great number of them. Thanks very much.
Each year at these ceremonies, the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame honors a golden anniversary team or teams to make sure a significant achievement by these teams 50 years ago is not forgotten. This year, we are honoring 2 such teams from the 1966-67 school year. First is the Holdridge High School boys basketball and boys golf teams. The Dusters basketball team won the Class B state title in 1967, completing the season with a 23-1 record. While their only loss was to Class A Grand Island, Holdridge did defeat 6 other Class A schools that season, including state semifinalist Kearney. In boys golf that school year, Holdridge won 4 tournaments, including the state and conference championships. The Dusters also won the state golf title the following year. Here to serve as spokesperson for the Holdridge High School is assistant coach Warner Carlson.
I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting 2 teams from Holdridge. Did pretty good after 50 years to have that many guys up here. But let me just say this. Of the 4 honored teams, or the 6 honored teams, 4 of them are from Phelps County. I think that's pretty good. You know, 50 years ago, none of us would have ever dreamed that something like this could have ever happened. The Omaha World Herald, a few years ago, picked the 1966-67 Duster basketball team as the best non-Class A basketball team ever. That's a pretty good distinction. Two games stand out. We went to Columbus about mid-season. They were rated number 1 in Class A. We pretty well walked over them. From then on, people knew we were for real. At the finals of the state Class B tournament, we played Schuyler. They had Chuck Jura, 6'10", and a guy by the name of Harmon, 6'7". Jura went on to play pro ball for the University of Nebraska, then pro ball. Harmon played down at Creighton. Coach Bauer, he said this: we can't stop Jura because we're not big enough, but we're going to shut the rest of them down. And we did. Those are the two games that really stand out in my mind. These guys, to a man, they believed in our coach. He was almost like God. And that's why we were good, because there was no dissension. And if you noticed your program, he's already in the Hall of Fame here. So these are a couple of these fellas not only were on the basketball team, but were also on the golf team. And so not only that, let me say this: they all are great contributors to their community. They're businessmen, they're professional people, they're great people. So thank you again for this great honor. Thank you.
Our next golden anniversary teams being honored today is Rushville High School football and wrestling teams. You waited a long time, you deserve that. Rushville scoring an average of 36.1 points per game while holding opponents to a skimpy 4.9 points per game. The Rushville football team went 11-0 in 1966. Meanwhile, the wrestling team won the state title that season with 3 state individual champions and 3 third-place medalists. Here to serve as spokesperson for the Rushville High School is John Miller.
On behalf of the Rushville High School football team, wrestling team, head football coach Rex Jones, wrestling coach Lanny Neese, and myself, we want to sincerely thank the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame for this award. This Golden Anniversary Award. It's a wonderful one. We're very proud to accept it, and we're aware of the fact that the process of getting nominated is not a quick and easy one. As a matter of fact, I'm told that the process for the nomination started over a year ago. We had a lot of help from some people, Con Marshall from the Chadron Record newspaper, Larry King from Awards Unlimited, provided some invaluable help in getting things ready for us and getting the paperwork done and in on time. So we want to thank them. Also, I wanted to mention that Con Marshall is affiliated with Chadron State College. One of the things that really gratified me was seeing so many supporters, family members, friends of these athletes that performed half a century ago show up from about 400 miles away. Of course, a lot of people are all over the country now, and you heard the applause when they came aboard. So that's pretty impressive, I think. I think you ought to give yourself a hand for that. I know that there are family members and friends, but there are some people that are just supporters that I talked with that came along too. That's what really is the lifeblood of small town athletics, high school athletics in the state of Nebraska. I think it's vibrant all over the state. Certainly is in Rushville, or was 50 years ago, that's for sure. Coach Jones couldn't be here today. Most of you from the Rushville area probably know that he's in a dire situation with a son with a bad medical problem. So he couldn't be here, and that's why I'm subbing for him. He wanted me to express his pride and his feeling of good fortune to have worked with these young men 50 years ago, 1967, 66 and 67 season. He described it to me as a perfect storm of some of the things you've heard previous speakers talk about. A lot of hard work, developing a system of discipline, self-discipline, and team discipline, and then building a competitive spirit. If you can get all of that together, which is what he called the perfect storm, with some really great athletes and great kids at that time, changed a little, you can get a team that's greater than the sum of its parts. I remember that year several games vividly. I don't think anybody ever had any doubt that we were going to win the game. Some of them were a little tougher to win, but not that bad at the end of the game, much like Nebraska's game yesterday with Illinois. It was in doubt for a while. I want to read the names of each person here, and then I have some certificates that I'll hand out later. I won't take the time to do that now. Small town, many of these athletes, or 4 or 5 of them I know for sure, were on both teams, the outstanding football team and the state championship wrestling team. I'm going to call their names, and then I think I'll have Coach Neese say a word or two about the wrestlers as soon as I finish. Glenn Forney, Jerry Harris, Jim Hinn. Jimmy Hinn didn't make it down here. I saw him earlier today. Ron Hoffman, Gary Holstein, Tom Kearns, Steve Crummell, Gail Nez, Rick Roffers, Ron Roffers, Bernard Strong, Gary Soames, Dave Tinsvold, Jim Tinsvold, Roger Vincent, Jerry Watson, Mike Holly, Mike Wilson. All right. Okay, I think that completes my part of reading the names. I wanted to mention also we lost 6 members off of this group that would have been here through the years. They're gone but not forgotten. I want to read their names. It was Fred Holstein, Steve Holstein, Mike Kearns, Pat Kearns, Steve McCoy, and Bill Thomas. We're glad to have Fred and Steve Holstein's sisters here. Connie, Chris, and Carol are in the audience somewhere. Raise your hand and okay. Mike Kern's wife, Nancy, is with us. Okay. Okay, that concludes my part of it, and as I said, I'll hand these out later. We'll take care of it like that. Lanny,
I have them. You know, just very shortly, that was my first year of coaching, and what an opportunity it was to be with these men. Well, they were kids then, and you know, it's just it's amazing what you can put together with a team, like he said, where they have a desire to go out and do it, you know. And so first year I ever coached wrestling, never been there before, never wrestled before. And so we recruited some people, but we have a lot of them here. And I just want to have them raise their hand. And you know, when he talked about the team the people in the stand back there, that's pretty cool when I look back at Rushville. And after we had won the state championship, we came back in a whole bunch of cars. And the thing is, we went through Gordon, and Gordon's about 15 miles, right, from Riceville. The whole highway was blocked with cars, and they just peeled in behind us as we went by. Pretty cool, wasn't it? You know, these guys did an unbelievable job. First of all, Glenn Forney, Tom Kearns, Dave Tensvold, Gary Soames, Jim Tensvold, Gail Nez, Steve Crummell, Roger Vincent, Mike Holly Weber. And what an honor it was to have these guys, to be able to work with them. And what an honor it is to come back. I live in Arizona, to come back to a state that has this kind of show. And I know this goes on every year. So I want to thank Nebraska. All right? You do great.
Well, I want to thank you all for your patience and attention this afternoon. And Bill, I want you to tell Tony that he did say before he left, because he had the early flight, that anybody who stayed the whole time, he would buy him a meal next time he saw him, right? You want to make sure to let him know that? Thank you so much. I do want to remind you the Hall of Fame was going to be open for an hour after this is done. So you have a chance, you should stop by. I did it during my lunch hour a couple weeks ago. It was worth every second. It's a really marvelous facility. Thank you.